So, welcome Venerable Dhammananda and Venerable Parapuna. And hello, thank you for coming. Tonight's conversation is on forgiveness. And I have often heard you say, Venerable, that in order to forgive someone, you must love unconditionally. Can you say more about that?
Before loving unconditionally, I think it's very important, when we see someone is doing some harm to us, we get very annoyed, we get very angry, and automatically you want to get back. But just stop for a second, look at ourselves. Have we done the same mistakes? We ourselves also sometimes do the same mistakes. So when we start looking at the situation from a different angle, from the opposite angle, then you can kind of relax and it's only natural. It is only natural that it is like this, then forgive. You are already, when we relax and we stop thinking like this, we are already in the process of forgiving. That is understanding that it is possible, even we ourselves can have done the same mistakes. So when somebody else doing some mistakes, why can't we forgive them? Why can't we forgive them? So that will become much easier. Now, coming to this loving unconditionally, to love someone unconditionally, I think this unconditional love, particularly, is very clear with mother. When a mother loves her child, her children, that love is expressed often as unconditionally. I will allow her to help me.
This love, unconditional love, this is, I think, very strong linkage to the love of all mothers, because mother is the one who can forgive her children whatever mistake they made. Unlike other people, when her children made mistake, some other people may judge, this is not right, this is wrong, but they just judge the children on the basis of the standard or the other people. That's the big difference of love of other people and love of mother toward her children.
Uh-huh. And on the issue of forgiveness, I have a few people who have hurt me very deeply, and I can't find it in my heart to forgive them. What advice would you give me?
I just suddenly I remembered something that happened in my life. In our history, in the Thai history, we were made in such a way that the Burmese are unforgivable enemies. The story is, as I grew up, somebody heavy-footed in the house, we would say, "Oh, you scared me. I thought that the Burmese attack." So you know how the Burmese attacked Thais and how the Burmese came in and exploited the country, how they came in and burnt down anything that looked like gold. This is heavily emotional on us, the people of that generation, of my generation. So therefore, many of us, for example, my sister, she refused to go to Myanmar. One country that she will not go is Myanmar. This is how we have been loaded with so much information to hate, to refuse, to deny the other. So when I was ordained, the very first thing I did was to go to Myanmar. And the very first thing I did after landing, I went to the hotel, put my luggage in the hotel, and I went straight to Chwedagong, went straight to the stupa, that magnificent stupa. And I went there to bow to the Buddha, of course, to the Buddha, and to whatever sacred energy that might be in that stupa, which symbolizes the Burmese, to tell them that whatever the stories may be truthful or not, may be tinted with, national pride, whatever, I forgive them totally. And when I forgive them totally, I also ask for them to forgive me, because I do not know in my past, how I myself must have hurt the Burmese, as in fighting. You don't know who is cutting whose head, So please also equally forgive me for what I might have done to you. Mm-hmm. So this is one very clear story in my own life of forgiveness.
That's very powerful. It's very beautiful, because in a sense you're saying, if I'm understanding you correctly, I may have in my harmful thinking of you, for instance, in our stereotypes and our
yes.
hatred, in a sense, we're being cruel to the other person too,
yes.
to the other people.
Yes.
So a really good example of how the whole process of hatred and suspicion works.
Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead. It's very, Cindy, is very deep rooted, and it is like when you grow a plant, this plant of hatred. You know how you have been watering this plant. Mm-hmm. Watering, not only you that you're doing the watering, but it is other people, the nation, the stories, giving that. All this is just watering this plant of hate. This plant of hatred took root, grew up very big into a very big tree. So you can imagine that. The same like the hatred that is going on within ourselves. So in this process of forgiving others, actually, you are healing yourself. This is very important message. In that process, you are actually healing yourself. You are making yourself whole again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, taking out the poison, sort of.
Yes. Yes.
Well, thank you very much for our talk tonight. Thank you both. And I will look forward to talking to you again.